The sky was painted in shades of orange and fading gold as the sun slowly dipped below the horizon. Outside the airport terminal, a restless crowd had gathered, families, friends, children, each holding onto hope as tightly as they could. Some clutched flowers, some held handmade signs, others simply stood still, their eyes fixed on the arrival gate as if blinking might make them miss the moment they had been waiting for. Among them stood Aisha. Her hands trembled as she held a small flag. Her eyes were tired, not from sleep, but from years of waiting. Every few seconds, she glanced at the glass doors, then looked away, trying to steady her breath. "He will come, he promised," she whispered to herself. 3 years. 3 long years since she had last seen her husband, Captain Zahid. 3 years earlier, the day he left was filled with silence more than words. Zahid stood in his uniform, strong and composed on the outside, but inside, there was a storm. Aisha stood in front of him, trying to be brave, trying not to cry, and failing. "Don't look at me like that," Zahid said softly, forcing a smile. "You're making this harder." "How can I not?" Aisha replied, her voice breaking. "You're going somewhere I can't follow, somewhere I can't protect you." Zahid stepped closer, gently placing his hands on her shoulders. "You don't need to protect me," he said. "Just wait for me. Promise?" she asked. He looked into her eyes filled with fear, love, and something deeper than both. "I promise," he said. And just like that, he left. The war doesn't just break bodies, it breaks time, memories, and pieces of the soul. For Zahid, every day blurred into the next. Dust, gunfire, orders, explosions. Sleep became a luxury, peace became a memory, but the hardest part wasn't the fighting. It was the losing. One night, everything changed. The camp had just settled into a rare moment of quiet when the first explosion hit. Chaos followed instantly, shouting, gunfire, panic. "Take cover," someone yelled. Zahid grabbed his rifle and ran toward the perimeter. That's when he saw Ali, his closest friend, already injured, struggling to move. "Ali." Zahid rushed to him, dropping beside him. Ali tried to smile, even through the pain. "Took you long enough," he joked weakly. "Save your strength," Zahid said, trying to stop the bleeding. But they both knew it was too late. "Zahid," Ali whispered, "if I don't make it, tell my mother, I wasn't afraid." Zahid's hands trembled. "Don't say that, you're going to be fine. You hear me?" Ali shook his head slightly. "And tell her, I kept my promise too." His grip loosened, and just like that, he was gone. Zahid stayed there for a moment, frozen, holding onto a hand that was no longer holding back. Something inside him broke that night. Letters that were never sent. After that, Zahid started writing letters. Not official ones, not the kind soldiers sent home. These were different. They were raw, honest, fragile. He wrote about fear, about guilt, about how sometimes he wished he could just disappear. But he never sent them. Because how could he? How could he send pain to someone who was already waiting? So instead, he wrote simple messages to Aisha. "I'm okay. I miss you. I'll be home soon." Lies wrapped in love. The news. One morning, Zahid was called into the commander's tent. "At ease, Captain," the commander said. "You've done your duty. Your unit is being rotated out." Zahid blinked. "Sir, you mean, I'm going home?" The commander nodded. "Yes, you're going home." For a moment, Zahid didn't react. Then slowly, the reality hit him. Home. The word felt unfamiliar, almost unreal. The flight back, the journey back felt longer than the entire war. Zahid sat by the window, staring at the clouds, his reflection faintly visible in the glass. He looked older, not just physically, but deeper, heavier. Would she recognize him? Would she see the same man she had said goodbye to? Or would she see the war? Back at the airport, the doors opened. A group of soldiers stepped out. The crowd surged forward, emotions spilling over all at once, tears, laughter, shouts of joy. Aisha's heart stopped. She scanned every face. Not him, not him, not. Then she saw him, Zahid, standing there, searching the crowd, just like she was. For a second, neither of them moved. 3 years of distance, 3 years of pain, 3 years of waiting, all collapsed into that single moment. "Aisha," he whispered. She ran, and so did he. When they finally reached each other, there were no words. Just an embrace, tight, unbreakable, as if letting go would mean losing everything again. Aisha buried her face in his shoulder, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You came back," she cried. Zahid held her close, his own eyes filling. I told you I would. But not everything comes back. Days passed. Then weeks. Life tried to return to normal. But something was different. Zahid would wake up in the middle of the night, breathing heavily. Loud noises made him flinch. Sometimes, he would just sit in silence, lost somewhere far away. Aisha noticed. Of course she did. One night, she sat beside him and gently took his hand. "You're home," she said softly. "You don't have to fight anymore." Zahid looked at her, his eyes filled with something he couldn't explain. "I know," he said. "But it's like, part of me never left." Healing wasn't instant. It wasn't easy, but it started with small things. Morning tea together, walks in the evening, talking, really talking, for the first time in years. And slowly, piece by piece, Zahid began to return. Not the same man, but a stronger one, a deeper one, the promise fulfilled. One evening, as the sun set just like it had 3 years ago, Zahid stood beside Aisha. "Do you remember what I told you?" he asked. She smiled. "You said you'd come back." He nodded. "And I did." Aisha looked at him, her eyes soft but certain. "Yes," she said. "You did." Final line. Because sometimes, the most powerful moments in life aren't about winning a war. They're about coming home. Heart,